Welcome to the Vale, where the paranormal is our playground. We are the Phantom Pals, Nick and Leah.
So this week's adventure is going to take us to Belleville, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Today, Nick is going to be discussing Wisconsin City claiming to be the UFO capital of the world, which is in Belleville, Wisconsin. We'd like to thank you for joining us from the last couple weeks. We've been able to talk about superstitions, cremation, our first creeps and cocktails of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are going to let Nick take off with his favorite subject of UFOs. And I'm just going to tease him through all of this.
Oh, is that how that works? Okay. Well, there has been a lot of uptick in UFO information being confirmed, I guess you could say.
But not really surprised.
No.
Like nobody seems to care.
And actually, so I decided to print off the Department of Defense report, the briefing that they got, and I did find a few interesting things. It's not very long. It's about 16 pages, so it's not too bad. So it wasn't a very long read, which was nice.
Because then we would have lost Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now there's some trends. October 24th, this covers from October 24th to June of 2024 to June, as of October 24th, I'm sorry, of this year. There are a total of 6,652 reports in total. Now, the report covers from May 1st of 2003 to June of 2024.
So how many sightings total?
But as of October 24th, there were 1,652 reports.
Like nationwide?
Yeah, whatever they're reporting. So yeah, nationwide, I would say. Now,
That
of
just
these,
doesn't seem to be a lot.
of these reports, 708 occurred in air domain, 49 occurred in space domain, and that is just what's covered in the report from the May to June, not as of that. There are some that were ones that weren't covered last time. Now, of the 757 reports, 392 were from the FAA, so airplanes. Now, 21 of them still have ongoing analysis.
There's 49 from space.
Yeah.
So are they talking like pictures that maybe aircrafts have seen?
Well, that would be the space domain. You know how we have the Space Force now?
Well, they're not chilling in space though.
It could be like like moving star or something somebody saw, or I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't really go into we'll have to go further into that. What I found interesting though is the different types of reports that there were. So like you could have birds, aircraft, satellites, lights, whatever. 70% of them were actually when they were investigated were explained to be balloons.
As in like party balloons, the ones that we just kind of throw into the air these days?
Balloons like
Or like
your
weather balloons?
hot air balloons, weather balloons.
Huh.
And let's see here. Oh, a lot of the reports were of lights. So that is the most common type of UFO, lights. So different color lights, funny lights, bright lights, whatever kind of, like when you look up in the sky, you see lights, right? You know what color planes usually have for lights.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see something a little different, you might think it's a UFO. Some of the other ones were triangles, squares, polygon, a cylinder, disc, an orb or a sphere, round.
Which was like another 22%. So you have 65% saying that they saw lights, and the next highest one
Is orbs.
Is orbs.
Or sphere orbs. I mean, are they ghosts? Yeah, a lot of it was weather balloons. And this was what, you know, and this is in the region that is covered.
Well, that's across the world.
Yeah, some of them were actually in the Middle East. 57 of them were in the Middle East. 13 of the 57 in the Middle East were resolved as balloons or satellites. 42 cases are actually still active due to insufficient information to facilitate analysis. So
Okay.
what I'm thinking that's saying is they can't recreate it.
Sure.
Now, a lot of them were able to be resolved to the Starlink satellite constellation. So another satellite that's out there.
I have seen Starlink. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
I can see why people would be confused by that.
Okay.
Or want to report it. It is kind of a goofy looking, like it's literally like a string of lights.
Okay. Now, some of the other cases, birds are commonly misidentified as a UAP. And How? Well, it's due to sensors, the wings when they flap. It on infrared, it doesn't look right. So
I guess I've never seen it on infrared.
yeah, so some of them, as they've birds in flight commonly display as flickering objects on
Okay.
radar. So a lot of them are.
All right. Fair.
Now, 10 of them flew over protected areas for a duration of less than 5 minutes. 2 instances involved longer flight times of 53 minutes and then one of an hour and 57 minutes.
So that's the time that they were looking in the sky and saw that, or something was just in
These
their
were
area?
reported. These were ones that shown up on radar or shown up that they were in a protected area where nothing should be flying over it.
Okay.
And there are 6 cases that remain unsolved from that. So, and then they had to put this in here. They have the health and psychological risk. So,
Like the health of and psychological analysis of the people reporting?
yes.
Oh.
Oh, what happened, like the after effects.
All right.
So, they received no reports suggesting any observers of a UAP suffered any psychological impacts or adverse health effects. Here's the disclaimer: the DoD acknowledges that health-related effects may manifest at any time after an event occurs. Therefore, any reported health implications reported to UAP sightings will be documented and reported if they emerge.
So are you saying that nobody has reported being abducted and probed?
No, nobody has reported that.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And that is the highlights of the report. But
Now, we've also been talking about theories lately, especially like on TikTok and whatnot, that UFOs or aliens are actually coming from our ocean versus space. What do you think of
that would be
theory?
that would be a submerged version, and I would say there's some places that a lot of it is by lakes. So there's a theory that I've seen out there that there's something's in the lakes or in the core that that they're looking for. I don't know. Whatever they are. Now it also does say that there is no proof of extraterrestrial life, mind you. So they
Then
do
they
not
just
have proof of that.
but Congress
There's
did confirm.
They have not confirmed anything about any aliens, just that UFOs exist out there, or UAPs, because they are unexplained phenomenon.
So what's the
There's
difference
no
between
explanation.
UFO versus UAP?
Same thing, just UAP. It got changed to UAP to kind of legitimize it, because when you said you saw a UFO, at one point, people looked at you like you're crazy.
And that stood for unidentified
By
flying
flying
object.
object.
Okay.
And this is unidentified aerial phenomenon. So it's
Okay.
acknowledging that there's things that are unexplainable.
Okay.
But we have not had any contact to say what it is.
That's fair.
And in a lot of cases, it can't be recreated.
Okay.
So,
do you know if they actually try to recreate it?
Well, yeah, they would have to look at like the radar, where the stars were. They can go back in that stuff, kind of like you do grievances at your job, right? When inmates say such and such did this to me.
Right.
They damaged my stuff. Mm-hmm. And you have to prove that it didn't happen, right? Or that it did happen. Either one. So you have video that you can go back and that is archived that you can go to to investigate their claim. So that's kind of what they do. They will investigate the claim and see what was going on at the time over that space. There could have been a weather phenomenon going on. A weather balloon was slated to fly over that area and it's just misidentified.
Okay.
So, they look at all the information and that's how they solve them. So when I said some of them are still open due to insufficient ability to investigate it, pretty much.
Got it.
So It's not saying there's something out there. I don't know what you believe. I don't know. I have some theories, but we're not here to talk about those theories. We're here to talk about Belleville, Wisconsin.
But I want to hear your theories at the end then.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah. But, so Belleville, Wisconsin. This is located in Dane County near Madison, Wisconsin, our capital.
Yeah.
Now, like Elmwood, they do have their own UFO Days Festival. Okay. Now, Elmwood, I covered Elmwood before, and I do want to cover it with you and redo that one eventually.
Okay.
So we will get into Elmwood another time. But Elmwood and Dundee, Elmwood is by Eau Claire, Dundee is by Fond du Lac, and it's actually by campgrounds and stuff like that. And there was a UFO bar there. This guy had a bar, and a lot of UFO sightings happened near there. So he had this thing called UFO Days, DAZE. And they had, people would have drinks or whatever, and then at night they would go out and try to watch for UFOs.
After drinking.
Yeah. So a lot of the sightings in Dundee did revolve around the bar or the campgrounds. But there is a lake there too. So that's where, maybe there could be a mineral in that lake that is being harnessed. I don't know. Maybe they have a base down there. I don't know. Now, both of those cities, along with Belleville, say they are the UFO capital of the world.
Okay.
So 3 cities in Wisconsin claim to be the UFO capital of the world.
Tourist.
Yeah, it's a tourist thing. The Elmwood one, I think, has a little more claim to it. I may be biased because, I have family near there and everything, and I'd go there a lot. But so I may be a little biased on that.
Okay.
But that's totally different. Now, It's usually the last weekend of October for Belleville's UFO days.
Okay.
So in 2023, it was October 28th. This year, I don't know what it was. Um, but maybe we'll have to go in 2025.
Can't.
Oh,
We have a special investigation coming up
oh,
on
that's right.
Halloween
Nope.
weekend. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
I mean, unless you can discover how we can clone ourselves and be in two places at once by then.
I think that's possible.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna let Nick try to.
What's the name of the sheep that got Lucy?
No, isn't it?
Dolly.
Dolly.
Dolly. Okay. Now, the the start of this was, well, the big part that they got a lot of attention. Belleville got a lot of attention was from 1987. Now, and this was from January to April of 1987. And this is a town of at about 2,000 residents. So
Okay.
it's not huge, but the reports also came from parents, police, and pilots. Local doctors also reported patients showing unusual effects from their sightings. And this is kind of an overview right now. I don't know what unusual sightings.
Right, or unusual
That might be
effects.
that might be a HIPAA thing.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Well, we're gonna go with that.
Unusual effects like anal probing, taking over our minds and bodies. Like maybe they're skinwalkers.
That's why you get aluminum foil. It comes with a free hat. I mean, this okay. Now, the connection did not start in 1987.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to start with April 3rd, 1964.
Oh, before my time.
And my time. Now, this is a sighting that was that's connected to the group Project Blue Book.
That sounds like X-Files.
Long story short, Project Blue Book was a group that investigated UFOs, and it's a famous group. And there was a lot of controversy behind it. They kind of whitewashed a lot of things to make it look like it wasn't happening, and some of the explanations made no sense to how they could say that was the cause of it.
Okay.
So it was kind of a way to dispel everything. Get rid of it.
Got it.
So it was more secretive. The Air Force ran it at one point.
Shocker.
Yeah. So now, and they did have a history of doing whatever they could to debunk anything UFOs. At the time, it was called UFO. So now Fred. Now, Fred is a senior at Monroe High School.
Fred.
So, he remembers a unique event that evening. Events, actually.
From April 3rd?
From April 3rd, 1964.
All right.
Yeah. Very interesting year for him and day. He remembers Fred and his friend. Okay, they were returning home from New Glarus.
Yeah.
Now, when I think of New Glarus, I'm thinking of the craft beers.
Right.
That's
the first thing I thought.
They have some fun ones. I don't do the beer as much. But Now, New Glarus is about 3 miles from Belleville.
Okay.
So I'm including this because that's a pretty good radius. It's not that far off. And it is connected by Highway 69. Okay. Now, on their way home, they would see an object that seemed to be suspended over the highway about a mile ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so imagine that.
Imagining.
Okay. The object had several red and yellow lights, according to Fred.
Okay.
So when I say red and yellow lights, what would you think? Is there anything flying out there, 1964, you think would have red and yellow lights?
Could still be a plane. There were planes in the 60s.
But don't they usually use white?
They have red.
Okay,
I
but
don't know
yellow?
about yellow. I don't know.
About yellow? Yellow's probably okay. So it was something that kind of just was out of place and stood out. So Fred noticed it.
It was a weather balloon.
But now here's the interesting part. It suddenly took off to the south at a high rate of speed.
So still in the air.
Yeah, so it was suspended. It was in one spot. It wasn't moving. And then it zoomed away. Do any of our airplanes do that?
No.
No.
Not necessarily.
No, I wasn't there. I'm not defending Fred and his friend.
Sounds like it.
Okay, so Fred and his friend watched the papers. You know, let's see. Maybe there's some reports in the newspaper about it, right? But they didn't see any. So nobody said anything. So maybe nobody saw it, right?
Okay.
So maybe he's losing his mind. I don't know. Well, they eventually came across a report from Project Blue Book from Monticello, Wisconsin. And I'm sorry, I did not look up where Monticello, Wisconsin is.
I'm going to play the Monticello. Find Monticello game.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay, find your chinchilla too. In this report, it says April 3rd, 1964, around 9 p.m., witness Mr. and Miss R. Wold, a graduate student in anthropology, reported 4 huge red lights in a rectangular formation with a white light above near the ground tilted and flew away after 3 or 4 minutes. Now,
So Monticello is actually right by New Glarus.
okay, so they're right next to each other, so it makes sense. Okay.
It's on Highway 69 as well.
Okay. So now this actually prompted Fred to share his experience.
So that little bit prompted. So Fred was being quiet this whole time because, well, I didn't see any other reports. People are going to think I'm crazy. This one report in Project Blue Book, which is known to cover things up and debunk things, so they say.
Yes.
Now he's feeling all...
Well, at that time, they didn't know. It wasn't public knowledge they were doing that.
Okay. So now he's feeling
And
courageous.
right. I think we'll have to get into Project Blue Book. I have a book on that, and I have all the reports from Project Blue Book and the history of it. So maybe we'll have to do a series on the history of that.
Is it the same as like Blackbriar from Jason Bourne? I'm kidding.
I don't know. No, but it would be interesting to go into that and just kind of the stigma that UFOs did have. So now we're not gonna go into January 87 to April 87 quite yet, but this does beg the question: what was flying through the cold winter sky in early months of 1987?
Okay, so we went from 64
to 87.
They had that sighting.
Yes.
And now here we are in 87.
Right. But what I want to do is I want to talk about some characteristics.
Okay.
Some similar things. And I'm going to go to, let's see here. Let's go to the summer of 1974. This is in this is southwest of
Town of Lodi?
Yeah, town of Lodi, which is just north of Dane County. Okay. It was a late evening.
Yeah.
The weather was clear.
Of course it is.
Just with a little moonlight.
All right.
Okay. Mr. G. He wanted to be anonymous, so he's Mr. G. That's what it says here, Mr. G. He didn't
Agent
give a name.
G. No, I'm
He
kidding.
did not give a name. Looking out his front door was surprised by an intensely bright light which just turned on from above. The entire hill of the to the north with the local golf course was lit up like daylight.
So this wasn't a huge
No,
spotlight?
a whole golf course at night?
They could have been doing maintenance?
Okay. Mr. G excitedly called for his wife, who was working in their kitchen.
Shocker.
I mean, it's the stereotype of the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the time she joined her husband, the strange light had turned off as mysteriously as it appeared.
Okay, so I'm going to play the part of the wife here, and I'm chilling in the kitchen, probably doing dishes or some craziness. And my husband calls me to the door, and as I get there, this light he wants to tell me about just mysteriously shuts off as quickly as it turned on.
Okay. Would you believe him? Or are you going to tell him he's crazy?
I would say, dear, there's a golf course over there, so they might have been doing some sort of maintenance or whatnot.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So there's light poles and golf courses? Have you been walking around golf courses lately and seen light poles? Lamps all over? Normally you don't golf at night.
I actually don't golf at all. And I've only been on one golf course, and I don't think I've ever paid enough attention to determine if there was a light or not.
Okay.
However, golf courses do have, like, that central building
Right,
where you
but
pick your stuff
we're
up.
talking about where the holes are, where there wouldn't be lights.
Well, wouldn't they have just a big overhead light so you can turn them on so you can be
No.
cleaning and whatnot after?
No, at
Oh.
night they don't do maintenance.
Okay.
Usually when it's night you don't go golfing.
Right, but there could be people
And if it
trying
was-
to get it ready for the next day.
And if it was maintenance, you would think it'd be lower to the ground, not over the top of it.
Was it over the top of it, though? I would question that from my husband had I been the wife.
From above.
There's a hill. It
So
says
was
right
it-
here there's a hill, right?
Was it God?
Shut up, Nick.
Just saying. So now, very bright lights of impure color are a common theme in sightings. Okay?
Okay.
So, a few hours later that same evening, a husband and wife driving on Highway 113 just south of Lodi observed a triangular shaped object with red and blue, just circular lights suspended beneath it. The object passed within 20 feet of their vehicle. Momentarily, it hovered. Then resumed its slow pass overhead. The couple described it twice the size of their automobile, with multiple alternating colored lights. Because it was a warm summer evening, they had been driving with the windows down, and they heard no sound. There was nothing.
So it was a silent, triangular thing
Yes.
that just hovered over them or just the road?
Let's see here. 20 feet above their vehicle.
Their vehicle. How'd they see it if it was above their vehicle?
It was bigger than their vehicle, so they could see it above them. It would be on the outside's peripheral vision.
So you're driving, right?
When
Your eyes
I
are
mean,
this way.
you,
Are you doing this while you're
I d-
driving?
well, when you have red and blue lights lighting your area, it's kind of weird. So now
Okay.
they watched as the lights disappeared or shut off and the object was gone. The car was unaffected and they continued their drive home. So I would conclude they had no psychological side effects from that.
Or
Because they just continued their drive. But
okay, but think about this. You see this. Me and you are in the car, right?
yeah.
We're heading out to like an investigation, and you know some of them are like back roads,
Okay.
so they're kind of like dark, whatever. Right? We never know where we are half the
Yeah.
time, right?
Right.
We're driving, and we see this, right? And this triangular thing's above us.
Okay.
Okay. Would we literally just sit there and go, "That's cool," and keep going?
I don't know.
Is that a normal reaction?
I don't know. Okay.
I'm just saying.
So now, shortly after this incident, to the north in Lodi, a man, we're going to call him, I don't know, how about Mr. W,
Okay, so we had a G and a W. Got it.
saw what he thought were headlights of a car pulling into his driveway. He went to the back door, but it was dark again. No visitors had arrived, at least via his driveway. So he went out to investigate the prying light. This was about 1 a.m. when he saw 3 bright points of light fixed horizontally in the black sky. He raced back inside and called his brother, who reluctantly agreed to set up his high-powered telescope in their parents' driveway. I don't know why he reluctantly agreed, but, So now, within a half hour, the 2 men were attempting to locate the lights, where there were now only 2 with the scope. They had some difficulty focusing the piece, and the slightest jar necessitated further adjustment. So, Mr. W was understandably annoyed when he felt his brother strike him from behind. He goes, "What the hell are you doing?" he snapped. "I almost had it." So, wait, okay.
I dare you.
Then looked away from the eyepiece and turned to see his brother pointing upward.
Okay.
Hanging right over them, slowly floating in front of the starlit sky, a large winged triangular-shaped object. No lights were visible. Yet, its undersurface was clearly defined and resembled metal tube coiling on the rear, kind of like on a rear of a refrigerator unit. I don't know if they still have them on the new ones like that. You can't really see them, I think, though. But,
Okay.
The 2 stood wide-eyed and open-mouthed as the dark machine silently slid over their parents' house extremely low. The object was lost to sight as it moved behind the 2-story roofline of their parents' house. Running to the backyard, they abruptly stopped when the soundless vehicle turned, tipped upward at a 45-degree angle, then shot away soundlessly at a fast rate of speed, and it was soon lost to sight. None of these previous experiences were reported.
I would say that they were smoking. And
Are you just saying that because it's the 60s or what?
I mean, they could have been.
Okay.
And they were seeing things.
Okay.
Just think about it. Really, a triangle-shaped object that was just like right over them, and then it just took off. Silently, by the way.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
Because, yeah, that makes sense.
It does. Makes perfect sense. Yeah. So,
Okay, so all of these sightings were within the same night, or?
yes. All the ones I just went through were close to each other.
In the same night.
Mm-hmm.
So they all saw the same triangular object with these lights.
Yeah.
And it was silent.
Yeah. So now, that was what, 60? That was 74? Yeah, that was the 70s. That was 74.
Oh, so they could have still been smoking. Because
Okay.
smoking in
So,
the 70s.
Now this is also, I mean, that's kind of some, and that was near Madison area, or Dane County.
What was that, Belleville, or just near?
And Belleville is in Dane County, near Madison.
So, I mean, we were talking about, like, the whole county
Yeah.
in general. So, it's not just Belleville.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I want to go to... All right, let's go to 1987.
Okay.
Where
so
this
now we're
all
back,
starts, okay?
So, we're back in 87. So, we did the 60s.
Yes.
We talked about some sightings in the 70s
So now-
in Dane County.
Yep.
Now we're back to Belleville.
Yes, this
Okay.
was, there's history in the area
Okay.
before 87, okay?
Okay.
So now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about well, I don't know if you want to call it respected man in the area or anything, profession, but I would think they're respected. This all starts from a police officer's account.
Okay. Very good.
So, on January 15th, 1987, Officer Glenn Kasmar, I think I said that right, thinks we were visited by a mysterious spacecraft. So, he and his ride-along companion, Jeff Forseth, yeah,
Okay.
we'll go with Forseth, reported that they spent about 30 minutes that night observing a cluster, not a big cluster, but a tight cluster of flashing and or blinking lights that were motionless in the southwest sky of Belleville. Thoughts?
That could have been a million things.
Okay.
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 Let's keep going.
Now, this was the second sighting for Kasmar. The first one was at about 8:30 at night.
Same day?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the time, he kind of disregarded it because it was a known plane route.
Okay.
Later-
well, that explains it.
Later, he would recall he thought it wasn't moving. Now, the second sighting, the one previous that I was talking about, was at about 3 a.m. The night being clear. They drove west on Highway 69 up the Quarry Road to the highest area for the best vantage point.
Okay.
From this location, they watched and described it as a close-knit cluster of red, blue, and white lights for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Kasmar then would go to the phone or go into phone the county sheriff's department dispatcher to see if there were any reports of the object. Now, he returned after a few minutes and resumed to watch the object before it slowly moved off in the direction in front of them. Kasmar was unable to determine the height, but he said it was very high. Now, anybody else, I would say they were probably very high. But a Dane County sheriff deputy joined them and watched as well.
Okay.
After the report was called in, Chicago O'Hare Airport was said to be tracking a slow-moving object that could not make any voice contact. Madison Airport was closed, so it's unknown what they could have seen.
Okay, so Chicago's airport reported that they were tracking something that was slow moving.
Yep.
Okay. Here's what gets me about this story. Of all the UFO stories that I hear and sightings that I hear about, it's usually something with fast and not typical movement of any man-made objects here on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, now we're talking about something that's slow moving and like sat there for 15 minutes. That doesn't sound like a typical UFO story to me.
Right. Okay. Well, typically, now that's where they're unidentified, because do we have technology where they just stay in one spot or jet off really fast?
I don't know, do we?
I don't think we do. There's no technology known to us unless China's doing it.
I mean, we do have technology that jets pretty fast. I mean, look at our Air Force and what they have.
Right, but not like what these people are describing.
I unfortunately don't really know of our secret stuff. I know that we have secret military.
We may, but
I don't know.
It's unidentified. I'm not saying there's anything behind it, like extraterrestrial or different life forms, but if you think about it,
I mean,
you can't explain
we have drones that would do that.
You can't explain it though, right? Yeah, we do. Today we do, but then they didn't.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, so now this is kind of what started it, January 87. Now another kind of bigger one would be on March 8th of that same year. Levon? Friedig?
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, Friedig.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. At first thought she was in the distance. She saw in the distance a flock of geese.
Okay.
Remember I said birds?
Yeah.
Okay. Upon closer observation, it was actually an object shaped like an airplane fuselage, but without wings.
Okay.
Okay. Now don't say it was a bullet. She was reported saying it just hung there. I watched it and I watched it.
Okay.
After several minutes, the object took off without making a sound, leaving a vapor trail and several smaller objects left behind. Jack Smith, manager of the FAA control tower at Dane County Regional Airport in Madison, well, that's the name of the airport that was closed that night, states that at the tower operators did not report anything on their radar that evening. To add to that, there were also no reports from pilots that evening or anything of anything.
So this was a different night.
Yes.
Because now the airport's open.
Yeah, this was March 8th
of
that year.
Okay, so
those...
she saw like something that looked like an airplane fuselage without wings, right?
Yep.
Just hanging in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And then it took off. And I want to know, what did it leave? Because it said that several smaller objects were left behind. Like what?
I don't know. That doesn't... I go to... where is it? Let me see if I can... The website I go to here. I go to www.ufowisconsin.com, and these are the reports that have been submitted by people. So you can actually go and you can see that.
Okay.
So now,
Would you keep something like if you saw it? So you see that and it leaves objects behind and they fall to the ground. Would you keep it?
I don't know.
Would you even touch it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I would totally keep it.
Yeah, probably. Now, would you report if you saw something?
Oh, no.
No?
No.
No. Okay.
Because then you get people like me looking at you going, but did you really? Did you really see it?
Okay. So now, there were some sightings in 2001.
All right.
This one was from January 23rd, 2001. So another winter. So it seems to be something with the cold weather. I don't know.
Okay.
So we know people aren't like dehydrated and have heat stroke or anything when they see them. Now, this comes from the National UFO Reporting Center. While traveling east, an anonymous source says they saw an unobstructed view out the front of the windshield. So they were driving.
Okay.
They saw a blue light travel about 2 to 3 times faster than any commercial jet and disappeared to the right. There was no tail or running lights on it, but it was a single spherical blue light.
I kind of want to sing Blue Light Special.
Kmart went out of business for a reason.
All right.
So
that's an account from 2001. Simply saw a blue light travel 2 to 3 times faster than a commercial jet and then disappear. So just saw a light.
Yes.
Didn't see like an object.
Right. So I'm going to ask you now.
Okay.
Okay. Put yourself in the spot.
All right.
Okay. You are driving, I don't know. You're just driving along the highway. You see a round sphere traveling right in front, goes right in front of your windshield, within your view, at a rapid speed, faster than any commercial flight. What are you thinking? There's no tail light, no like wings. It's sphere. It's a sphere. What are you thinking? What would you?
Shit.
Okay.
I mean, would you not though? If it went past you that fast, right?
So you think you're going crazy?
Yes.
Okay. So now let's go to March 4th.
Like, wouldn't you question yourself more? Like, it just disappeared. Now it's gone. Would you actually? I would question myself if I actually saw that.
So we do ghost hunting, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the things we use detect electric, right?
Yeah.
Or energy.
Correct.
And there is plausible reasons things go off sometimes, right?
Yes.
You don't think you're losing your mind when they go off and we have no explanation.
No, because I'm able to sit there and see it actually go off, and it's lasting more than a few seconds of something in front of me and then disappear.
Okay. Okay. Now, let's go to March 4th.
All right.
All right, March 4th of 2001. Now, this was around 7:45 p.m.
So just a few months later. Okay.
So, winter, it would have been dark.
All right.
It would have been night out yet at that point. A witness was looking west to the northwest, and they saw a bright object in the sky. The object was in the shape of a star with red and blue lights. Now, this was March, so it is not a star on a Christmas tree.
You knew where I was going with that, huh?
The object was in the shape of a red star with blue lights, and it seemed stationary.
Okay.
They called a neighbor to see if they saw it too,
All right.
but they couldn't. Trees blocked the neighbor's view. However, his brother-in-law saw what the witness described. The object had 5 or 6 very long, sharp, pointed arms, kind of like a spider.
Yay.
And the red and blue lights were positioned around the center.
So how'd they see the arms if it was dark out?
Moonlight? I don't know. Doesn't say that in the report.
All right. So
This is just what they saw. You have to investigate. If you had to investigate this, what would you say? What would your kind of like when we ghost hunt? You have to. Okay, dead bell went off. What could be around it that maybe caused that?
You're right. I'd be looking around to see what would cause that because that doesn't make any sense. You see red and blue lights and what, like a shape, a small circle?
In a circle, around the circle.
And then apparently there's like spikes coming out of it?
Yeah, like a spider. I know
In
you
the
like it.
air.
I know you like it when I say that too.
Yeah, right.
Like a spider.
But it's dark out. I'm still confused on how they can even tell that there's anything coming off of this thing. And was it just sitting there? Was it suspended? I'd have a lot more questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go. Well, we were at March 4th. Well, let's just go one more day later.
Okay.
It's March 5th.
All right.
This is 2001 again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's refresh that. A report from the National UFO Reporting Center was printed stating the witness's sister. So this is from the previous one.
So like secondhand accounts.
Yeah. Called at about 8:23 and said that her father-in-law in Belleville saw the same strange object to the west and that
Saw something strange in the sky to the west.
Yeah.
And should look out the window.
Yeah, copy and paste this on. Some of the grammar in this is really crazy.
Witnesses should call the sister-in-law who happened to live in the same town. Okay, so hold on a second. The witness's sister called at 8:23, right? Like,
Yeah.
You got to get these words. And her father-in-law in Belleville saw something strange in the sky to the west.
Mm-hmm.
The witness then called the sister-in-law. So his sister-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's not his sister anymore. Now it's his sister-in-law.
Yep.
Who lives in the same town.
And they could see the bank of lights from their front porch to the west. And they were changing from white to yellowish orange.
Okay. So we have like family members that live in different areas of Belleville
And
that
still
have been able to see this. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So it's multiple people at the same time.
Okay.
What's your theory there? Are they all crazy?
Well, how big were these lights?
That's not in the report.
But they were moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were changing color from white to yellow,
Oh.
orange.
If you compare the lights to the size of a planet, it would be the size of 6 to 8 of them.
Oh, so they're kind of big?
Mm-hmm. They were not as bright.
All right. And then was there any more reports of this or just by this one family?
Let's go into my archives here because I did print out some more stuff.
Well, here it says there's 2 more reports of this sighting.
Yeah. So here's
So
March
there's
5th.
multiple witnesses.
Okay, I got March 5th right here. So let's go to March 6th.
Okay, having seen something a half hour before this, I drove back out to the area myself. I did spot the light changing from white to yellow to orange. And just watched it move north, which I think that's what that said, was it was moving north.
Yep.
The total sighting was like 4 minutes. However, this witness called the local newspaper, and the newspaper had told him that they got a call 2 weeks ago from someone who's reported seeing something similar.
Yep. No.
So, this has actually happened a few times.
Yeah. And now here's March 9th. I have reported 3 other sightings, 3401, 3501, 3601, and during 3701 and 38, there were clouds in the sky and didn't see anything like that we had seen previously. The object was again to the northwest, west to northwest, and stood with bright colors of blue, orange, red, and white. The object moved very slowly and had a circular white thing with orange and bluish flames on the right. And that was for March 9th. So these are all...
So he's seen these, whoever this witness is, has seen on 3, 4, 5, 6.
7 and 8 were
cloudy days.
days.
So 3 nights in a row saw
And
the
then-
same thing.
And then when the clouds were gone, it was back. So is there something out there lighting up that they didn't know about? Or are we having a repeat visitor?
Well, I could come up with some ideas.
Okay, moving slowly across the sky. So it's not going to be like an one of those wind farm things.
No.
And I don't think we had wind farms at that time. Wait, we might have. I don't know.
2001?
Yeah, there might have been. But probably not in Wisconsin.
So let's ask you, Mr. Nick. You've been the UFO person. So between the both of us, you're more of the UFO person.
Okay.
Okay? What are your thoughts on UFOs in general?
On UFOs in general, I believe there are UAPs or UFOs out there because there's phenomenon that is unexplainable. In the past, it could be a weather phenomenon that we didn't know about. It could be, like you said, secret technology that the government has that we don't know about. China could have that. Russia could have that. Anybody. It could be and that's where the government acknowledging it is important, because when you got flights going on and there's just these random objects in the sky and you're flying in the airspace, it's dangerous. But you can't explain it.
Okay.
And one of my theories or thoughts is, I don't know if you believe in time travel, but for it to be extraterrestrial or another life form, not like us, there's no inhabitable planet in our solar system. Now, they could require different things to breathe or to live or whatever, you know? But everything we've seen on surfaces in our galaxy, in our little area, there's nothing there, right?
Right.
So they're traveling light years away. So they have to have a quick way to get here, or they've got to be super fast.
Okay.
So it could be like a time travel thing, is a theory. I know you're going to hate the reference, but Back to the Future, when he drove the car, they had to get to a certain speed for it to take them to a different time. So there's theories like that.
Okay.
Could there be intelligent life out there? Yes, there could be. we don't have proof of it yet.
All right. I would say my belief in UFOs, as skeptic as I typically sound,
Mm-hmm.
I do actually believe that there's other life forms in some way, shape, or form out there in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
The recent theories of them being in our oceans, I'm actually not against that theory. Some of it kind of makes sense to me. So it wouldn't surprise me that they've been here all this time.
Yeah.
But there are still some stories of sightings that just make me go, and wonder, is it really an accurate story, or did we want to just
Right.
report something? Or are we reporting something that we truly thought was a UFO maybe, but it really probably was something else
Right.
that's explainable.
Right, because we don't know when weather balloons are flying or when other
Right.
things are. So we wouldn't know that. And that's why they investigate this. And I think it is a national security thing now that should be looked into because it is a danger.
Is it though? Has anything harmed us?
Not yet. There have not been any incidents where there's been harm from them, but
Unless the probing thing is true.
I won't tell if you don't.
Nice. All right.
Okay. That was the humor there.
I guess.
Now, I'm not so sure on any of that, but it's if you have things going into airspace that are not reporting, and then you have people flying in these airspaces, what does that do?
It's true.
What are the chances? What are the chances that you don't? It doesn't. What's the word? Cause an issue.
Now, if you know, or it's been determined that maybe we have been visited, do you feel threatened by that?
No.
Okay. Because I don't.
No.
I feel like if we have been
do.
visited, then, and we're talking about it now as if it already happened, past tense,
Mhm.
then why would I feel threatened? Because obviously nothing happened. But would you be scared to see a visitor?
I don't think so.
Okay.
At this point, I'm kind of would consider being abducted a vacation.
All right.
That's just me, though. I would consider it a break from. I wouldn't have to go to work then.
Oh my goodness. So, everybody, my parapal here wants to be abducted by aliens to get a vacation from work. I don't know how anybody else feels about that. We're just pausing for a second
Yep.
because he's looking up something.
Yep, I'm going to look up something here. There was something really fun that I found.
We're going to listen to him type.
Yep, we're going to. So, now you used to watch X-Files, right?
Yes.
So, what were your thoughts on their UFO episodes?
Interesting.
Okay.
I'm a little bit more of a Scully.
Okay.
What about you? What are you looking up here?
There was something that was very interesting. That's a video. I don't want the video. We'll just go to this USA Today article
Okay.
from actually from 2023. It's from November 23rd or November 13th. It asks, what is alien abduction insurance? So, There is this company called St. Lawrence Agency in Florida
Okay.
that protects you in the improbable event that you are kidnapped by an extraterrestrial.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding you. I just wanted to end on a fun note. So sorry for that awkward silence as me um,
I was wondering
typing
what you were
to
doing.
this was not in my research. It was something I came across in my research and I just thought, it'd be fun. Now, the company does make it clear that it is a novelty policy though. So it is kind of like a gag gift.
Okay, so if there's ever an actual alien invasion, it might help to know that some of your existing insurance policies may provide some form of protection.
Yes.
While you're thinking about insurance, is a good time to make sure you are properly insured for earthly events.
Yes. Now, alien abduction insurance is certainly one of the strangest types of insurance that you're going to
Yes.
find.
Yes.
There is one company that sells, and no, it's not a real insurance product, okay?
Okay.
Okay. But, you know, you may know somebody that, they're a big UFO fan, right?
I think Nick is hinting at something.
So, so what you can do is now you could protect them from the possibility of an encounter of the third kind. And all it is an investment in buying a policy is a gay gift. Now, what does it cover? I do want to talk about what it covers because this is very fun.
All right.
Okay. Alien abduction insurance is offered by St. Lawrence Agency.
Okay.
Okay. They offer $10 million in coverage in event that you're abducted from the planet Earth by an extraterrestrial. You can go ahead, laugh, chuckle, have a good time with this now. To be clear, though, this is not real.
Okay.
Again, I say this is not real.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the insurance certificate includes coverage for multi-dimensional joyrides
Nice.
and sarcasm from immediate family members.
Family. Okay.
So, would that include co-hosts that give you crap all the time?
I'm pretty much family now.
Okay.
You're dealing with me.
You can also qualify for double the coverage if any of the following occurs.
Oh, it must be good if you're laughing already.
The alien insists on conjugal visits.
Interspecies erotica.
Yes.
Wait, was this a family show? I'm not sure.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I'd complain about that, but okay.
Oh, dear Lord. Okay,
If
now
they're
Nick
hot,
is scaring me.
If they're hot, I mean, hey.
Stop. Oh, my God.
The encounter results in offspring referred to as the missing link, which is quite interesting because Bigfoot is known to be interdimensional and possibly has references to that.
Okay.
The alien refers to you as a nutritional food source or the other white meat.
No. Stop.
And you can provide proof of your abduction and return with a claim form.
Mr. Alien, can you sign this for a second?
So, the insurance agency's website states that anyone is eligible regardless of age or frequent flyer status. It also you can also get
monoliths with you engraved with your name.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
So what are the limitations?
There's
There are
gotta be some.
limitations.
Yeah.
According to St. Lawrence, only 2 people have managed to file a claim successfully via exceptions. The first instance, a cab driver from New York had been telling friends about his abduction his whole life
Stop.
and called the insurance agency to share his story. And the second instance, a train conductor from New York had sent an overexposed Polaroid picture with a claim saying the lighting in the UFO was bad.
Stop.
So,
Okay.
so how much does it cost? All
Uh-huh.
right. If you're thinking about getting this,
Okay.
all right, as a novelty item or a gag gift,
Yeah.
the cost is a single lifetime premium is $24.95 for a digital certificate and $29.95 for a paper certificate. I'm thinking the digital one you could just print up and frame yourself.
Well, you can spend $30 for a framed alien
An
abduction
abduction.
insurance policy and spend it on Aliens Blu-ray box set for your friend instead.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah.
Nick, do you need an alien policy?
I do, and the Aliens Blu-ray box set sounds pretty good too.
Okay.
Um, but that's probably on digital, so I don't need the box set anymore. Um, Now let's see. Could you be covered by existing insurance? Okay. And there was a part in there on. I'm going to look up St. Lawrence while we're on here. This is going to be a long episode, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, we are gonna have to wrap it up soon because it is getting really long.
Yeah.
So
What
while
was
he's
it?
looking stuff up here, continue thinking about getting insurance for yourselves, apparently, or your friends or loved ones for alien abduction.
I'm going to actually copy and paste it, I think, and then just do that. Yeah. There's other. I mean, there is other insurances out there, like auto insurance. Most states require it. Health insurance, government requires it now.
Okay.
So here we go. Is there a website here?
It sounds kind of goofy. So we're just looking up the website for the St. Lawrence
Yeah.
agency.
And I'm not, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Oh, here. Oh, no, there's just they have a location.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you.
We'll have to really look into this and add an extra episode to talk about if you really want to do this as a gift for somebody.
Yeah, so.
All right. So we're gonna wrap up with that because it is getting well past our time.
Oh, yes, we're over an hour, and I
Yeah.
do apologize, so.
We don't want to make everybody mad by continuing to listen to our weird alien antics. So with
But
that,
but it was quite funny to say.
it was funny.
I.
So with that, Mr. Nick, thank you
Yes.
for your stories on Belleville, Wisconsin. And we'll discuss more probably UFO stories in the upcoming episodes. We have some more.
Yeah, what do we have coming next?
Next week, we'll be discussing Brumder Mansion.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
That is a place we've been to plenty of times, so that should be fun.
Yeah, we've been there at least, 3
Yeah,
now?
I think it's 3 now.
Yeah. All right.
So, well,
All right.
thank you for
Thank
listening, and make
you.
sure to like and subscribe for future episodes. And thank you for listening, and I hope we entertained you.
This is Leah and Nick from the Vale.
Mhm.